Hello everybody, this is St Charts. It is the 6th of April 2025. We're just going to do something different today, just going to go through some commodities, some indexes and some other little things. Obviously the global stock markets have been in decline, so we're going to start with silver. And this is the first one here where, for me, I think here this is a really impulsive move. I think lots of things have moved in an impulsive move over the last week. So for me, I think that, break this sort of 28.79 level. I think we'll see trading for silver into this red box zone where hopefully we're going to get a bounce to the upside. But we shall see. Obviously, we're looking for a clear structure in there for a sort of entry level, which I'm not going to do in this podcast. I might do it in another podcast and post that somewhere else for trade setups. Next we're going to do is gold. Say USD, and again, this one here we called pretty well, haven't we? We said that we thought, I think last week we thought we were going to get another little boost to the upside, which we did. I thought we might tag the top of the box there, and we almost did, didn't we? And we called that all the way back down here. Sort of at 1816 level, we said that we thought we were going to see a leg up and probably attack the top of that blue box. So a pretty good call. And for me, I think here we're going to see a corrective move. And I'm going to switch to the weekly and I'm not going to give a trade setup on this one again, but for me, I think that we're going to see a corrective move play out, and I'm expecting probably something like this to play out, sort of 1, 2, 3 down into that red box before we get another leg higher. So I think that we could see gold trading at some stage down to 2,652, down to 2,492 level before we get to the next leg up. So that is gold. Looking, well, pretty bearish, but you never know. We could see the bull step in again, but I think overall it's going to be a little bit bearish before we go bullish again. the FTSE 100 is my next one, and this one has had a terrible week. This is another one we've called really well, haven't we? We said that we were going to trade into this blue box, which we did. We've almost tagged the top of the box as we thought we might, and then we've seen the sort of bears step in, and we had a monster candle, didn't we, on Friday? I mean, absolutely awful day. And I've got a blue box here, which it's sort of held at the bottom of that extended box, and fingers crossed we can sort of see a bit of a bull step in here. I'm probably expecting something like this, a bit more upside, a little bit more downside, and then hopefully we're going to see at least a three-wave move to the upside with the UK FTSE, although there's no trade set up for me at the moment, but one to keep an eye on. Next one I'm going to do is the NASDAQ, and again, this is one which we've called really well. We had that blue box for the NASDAQ, and I think we had another blue box within a blue box, which at 21,631, it overshot it slightly, didn't it, to 22,250, but then the bears have come out in force, and we've seen some massive downside over the last week. But I think I've got a blue box here, which hopefully is going to hold. So that's sort of between 17,348. Hopefully we see a bounce before we get to the bottom of the box at 16,549. However, we could see trading as low as 15,532, and even possibly lower than that. But, that's looking a really impulsive move. So it's going to be a difficult one to catch the bottom, but we shall see what happens. And I'm going to flip to the weekly one here, and for me this is one where we thought that blue box was going to be the top, and another one where I'm expecting sort of a three-wave bounce to the downside. Well, probably a few more than that, but and I think we're going to see probably trading all the way down into this red box zone here over the period of time to sort of 14,138 to 11,633 before we see another leg to the upside. So, but obviously it's not going to go in a straight line. We're going to get some good days, we're going to have some bad days, but I think overall there's going to be a bit more downside in the NASDAQ before we get another leg to the upside. So a bit more turmoil ahead. Next one I'm going to do is crude light, and this one here is, if I just switch to the weekly and just get that up, I think that this is one where we said we thought we might see trading down into this blue box zone here, which it's almost tagged it. I said that Trump wants a cheaper oil price, and that's exactly what he's achieving. So I've got a blue box reversal zone there at $60.20 down to $52.74, and that's a massive impulse, isn't it? From $72, it's wiped off $10 a barrel. And if I switch to the weekly, this is what I sort of see this one playing out. And overall, this is a corrective play from the sort of COVID lows that we had back in, when was that? April 2020. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have trading in trading in oil down into this red box zone down here at $28.97 down to $10.95, which it's going to be tragic for it. Doesn't look good for the economy, but that's going to put massive amount of money back in the pockets of the people. Everything's going to be cheap as a result. We're going to have cheaper food because the cost of everything is, it comes down to the cost of energy, petrol. Cost of transportation is going to be lower. Cost of producing things is going to be lower. So hopefully that's going to mean that everything's going to become cheaper. So it's not a bad play. But we'll see what happens. But I think that this blue box here, we should probably see trading down into there. Probably see a bounce to the upside before we get more to the downside. But it's sort of a long-term thing that we'll wait and see how that one plays out. Next one I'm going to do is copper, which again, this has had another one, had a bad week. Wasn't quite expecting that. But for me, overall, I'm still bullish on copper. I think that this red box here at $4.16 down to $3.83 will probably be tagged before hopefully we get more upside. I've still got these blue boxes here which are still active, so nothing goes in a straight line. But for me, I think that copper is still bullish, but it's just going to have a bad few days. So unfortunately, there we go. That's a weekly one on copper again. So there we go. Next one I'm going to do is Bitcoin, because this one's had a better week, hasn't it? It's held pretty well, and this is one which we gave. I'm just going to flick to the daily. We thought that we had this blue box reversal zone here at 90,141 to 84,879. It fell outside that box, but it's kind of holding, and I'm still kind of expecting more upside here. I think we're going to see this sort of here, and hopefully we're going to have another run into this red box zone up here, 116,840 to 128,946. It's not guaranteed, bit of a high risk move, so one to keep an eye on. Next one I'm going to do is the US 10-year bonds. And I think this is really interesting, is that as a result of the stock markets crashing, the bond rates are actually following suit as well. So the bond rates not so long ago, sort of back in January, at 4.8. We're now, in fact, during the week's trading, it fell all the way down to 3.8, which is great for government borrowing, isn't it? Government borrowing is getting cheaper. That means that the governments have got more money to play with. The cost of their massive amounts of borrowing is getting cheaper. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see the bond rates now flip to the weekly. Here is probably easier. It come down all the way down to this blue box here at 3.4 down to 3%. It could fall even lower than that. It's going to be an extremely interesting one to see how that one plays out. But it looks to me that Trump's playing a good card here. He's getting his cost of borrowing down. With the dodge, he's cutting expenditure. And I believe as well he's planning of cutting the military spend as well. So he's saving money, isn't he, all the way along? So it's going to be an interesting one to see how that one plays out. I'm just going to go to the British 10-year bonds as well, and if we look here. The British bond, even our rates coming down. We were paying sort of nearly 5% only back in January 25. It's now down to 4.43, and hopefully that can continue lower. I don't think it looks as good as what the US bond yield does, but we shall see. We'll probably see it down to 4%, which that's going to save the government a tremendous amount of money. So wait and see how that one plays out. Hopefully that can fall even lower, but we shall see. Next one I'm going to do is natural gas, because this is another one that obviously that impacts the cost of the gas that we're importing from the US. And for me, I think that I've still got this red box here at 3.653 down to 3.253. Probably see trading back down into there. Excuse me, before we might see another leg to the upside at 5.28 to 5.726. So natural gas, see how that one plays out. Probably, sort of a corrective play over the sort of warmer months before then we head higher again, but we shall see how that one plays out. And next one I'm going to do is the US dollar, Japanese yen. Just thought I'd throw this one in. For me, I think that this one's kind of interesting. Break this level down here to 139.526 is going to see trading down to this red box zone down here at 136.474 to 130.386. For me, I think that is almost nailed on to be an active target before then we get at least a sort of a three-wave move to the upside. So I think we see trading down there, then we get at least a three-wave move to the upside in the US dollar, Japanese yen. I will cover some more off hopefully later today. Have a great morning.